Every industry changes over the years in order to adjust to technology and keep up with modern problems and concerns. The music business has only begun to make drastic changes since 1995. These changes have been brought on by the advent of music downloading and file sharing, particularly illegal downloading and file sharing of MP3s over the Internet. In order for the industry to adapt to this new technology, many of the industry leaders, the major recording labels, have been forced to merge with other companies or have been bought out. In 1998, Universal Music Group bought major Dutch label, Polygram, only to be bought out by French media company, Vivendi, in June of 2000. In addition, January of 2000 saw the announcement that internet and media giants AOL and Time Warner would merge. And now in August of 2004, music conglomerates Sony and BMG have merged to become the second largest music label in the world. While in early 2004 Warner Music Group was purchased from Time Warner by Edgar Bronfman to create the largest independent music label. Meanwhile, EMI has managed to survive and flourish without the huge mergers that have saved their competitors. To examine how mergers have changed the music industry, one must investigate the merger of AOL and Time Warner, the merger of Universal Music Group and Vivendi, as well as the merger of Sony and BMG, and the success of EMI. One should also look at the advantages and disadvantages of these mergers on the music industry and examine the opinions of the two authors of this paper. Studying these items will make the impact of record label mergers and the ongoing changes in the music industry very evident. Warner Brothers Entertainment was originally Warner Brothers Studios, which was co-founded in Hollywood, California, in 1923 by four brothers, Harry, Sam, Albert, and Jack Warner. On January 10, 1990, Time Warner was created through the merger of Time Incorporated and Warner Communications. In 1996, the group merged with Ted Turner's Turner Broadcasting System, making Mr. Turner the largest individual shareholder of the group. Warner Brothers is now one of the world's largest entertainment companies, whose brand names include Warner Brothers Studios, the WB Television Network, HBO, CNN, Time Magazine, and Warner Music. Finally, on January 10, 2000, Time Warner merged with American Online, creating a company worth an estimated $163 billion. This is the first purchase of a major media company by an internet company. This merger combines the most successful brand name of the internet with the world's largest entertainment company. The deal is contingent on the approval of shareholders of both companies. Both boards approved the deal unanimously, the companies said, and Time Warner highlighted the endorsement of its vice chairman, Ted Turner, who compared his glee at signing the papers in favor of the merger to the first time he made love 42 years ago. The two companies combined have an estimated 100 million customers, including 20 million from AOL's internet subscribers, Time Warner's 12 million cable customers, and Time Publications' 29 million subscribers. Warner Brothers is now one of the world's largest entertainment companies, whose brand names include Warner Brothers Studios, the WB Television Network, HBO, CNN, Time Magazine, and Warner Music. Warner Music's labels include Atlantic Records, Elektra Records, London Records, Reprise Records, Rhino Entertainment, Warner Music Australia, Word Entertainment, a stake in Maverick Records, Madonna's label, and others. Time Warner has the broadest array of top entertainment brand names in the world. In television shows, Time Warner controls the R and Friends. The cartoon characters Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Batman are under Time Warner's handling. Its publications include Time, Fortune, Sports Illustrated, and People magazines. In music, Metallica, Pantera, AC/DC, The Doors, Stained, Cher, Frank Sinatra, and Madonna are all signed to Time Warner labels. However, in February of 2004, Edgar Bronfman purchased the Warner Music Group from Time Warner, making Warner Music Group the largest independent music label and the only independent music label in the Big Four labels. Universal Music was originally the music recording division of Universal Studios, which is known for its studios in Hollywood, California. The company was acquired by the Seagram Company Limited by Edgar Bronfman Jr., who formed the Universal Music Group, which became one of the largest major music labels in the world. Bronfman managed to purchase major Dutch label, Polygram, in 1998 to make the largest record label in the world at the time. However, in June of 2000 Vivendi, a French media company, merged and overtook the Seagram companies, forming itself into Vivendi Universal as of December 2000. Universal won. In 2003 it was estimated that Universal Music Group held 23.5% of the global share of the music industry market, and now in 2004 it holds 25.9% of the global market. Universal Music's principal labels include Island FM Music Group, Interscope A&M Records, Geffen Records, Decca, Deutsche Grammophon, Motown, and Mercury Records. Late in 2003 Universal Music bought DreamWorks Records for around $100 million, despite Vivendi Universal's large losses. Universal too, as Vivendi Universal has struggled in recent years, it has sold off portions of its acquired companies but still maintains 92% of the assets of Universal Music Group. Universal won. While other music companies and recording labels have had difficulty adjusting to the new technology in the music industry, Universal Music claims to be the market leader in exploring digital distribution and technology. Universal Music Group is the largest of the major record labels in the world, holding 25.9% of the global music market. The formation of Vivendi Universal has kept Universal Music Group from going under, thus providing music fans around the world with releases from artists such as U2, Eminem, Sting, Stevie Wonder, Bon Jovi, Slayer, and No Doubt. After selling off parts and cutting jobs to attempt to pay off a $20 billion debt, it appears that Vivendi Universal, based on the first quarter and first half reports of 2004, will be experiencing a growth in sales and revenue, thus proving that the merger of Universal Music Group and Vivendi, despite a rocky start, has been beneficial for both Universal Music Group and the music industry. Sony started off as a consumer electronics corporation based in Tokyo, Japan in 1946, as Tokyo Telecommunications. As they grew into a major international corporation, Sony acquired other companies with longer histories, including Columbia Records. BMG was originally the C. Bertelsmann Verlag, which was founded as a print shop cum publishing house, in 1835 by Karl Bertelsmann. At first Bertelsmann concentrated on Christian songs and books. Bertelsmann expanded with the Bertelsmann Lesering, Reader's Ring, and the founding of the LP label Ariola Records in 1958, which marks the entry in the music market. These two companies continued to expand by acquiring other companies. However, Sony and BMG became the second largest company in the recorded music business when they decided in December of 2003 to merge with one another. The result is Sony BMG Music Entertainment merger and a 50-50 partnership between Sony Music Entertainment, part of Sony, and BMG Entertainment, part of Bertelsmann AG, that is to be headquartered in New York. This merger results in Sony BMG Music Entertainment having 25.2% of the global market in the music industry with an estimated combined sales of $8 billion. This merger is estimated to save $350 million a year for the newly formed company, but at the cost of an estimated 2,000 employees. The job cuts are supposed to be split in half, however this is very unlikely because Sony is likely to assume dominance over BMG. A significant number of artists are likely to be cut from the newly combined Sony BMG repertoire. No names have been mentioned. Sony BMG Music Entertainment includes major labels such as Sony, BMG, Columbia, Epic, Arista, RCA, and others. Also, Sony BMG have the pop sensations Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Kelly Clarkson, and Avril Lavigne, along with popular rock acts such as Aerosmith, Incubus, Green Day, Pearl Jam, Ozzy Osbourne, Santana, and Dave Matthews Band under its current roster of talent. Sony BMG Music Entertainment hopes to eventually surpass Vivendi Universal Music Group by obtaining the highest percentage of the global market in the recorded music business. EMI was created in 1931 and joined the American market in 1955 by acquiring Capitol Records, which was one of the largest record labels in the United States. Their first British record label was created in 1957. In 1977, with the help of newly acquired Richard Branson, EMI signed the Sex Pistols and put themselves on the music industry map. Then in August of 1996 the shareholders of then Sony EMI voted to approve a demerger and form the EMI Group plc. EMI's principal labels include Capitol Records, Virgin Records, Angel, Blue Note, Odeon, and Parlophone, and such artists as Coldplay, Kylie Minogue, and Radiohead. EMI artist Garth Brooks sells 100 million albums in 2000, and in 2003 EMI's Norah Jones won 8 Grammy Awards, exemplifying the success of EMI's music ventures. EMI too, however, despite these successes, EMI has not profited as much as anticipated and was forced to drop large contracts with Mariah Carey and David Bowie in order to try and cut costs. Just like all of its competitors who have merged, EMI is suffering from slowing CD sales due to technological advances such as MP3s. Much like Vivendi Universal, EMI officials have announced that they will be redesigning their recorded music division to cut cost and become more competitive. Over the past 2.5 years, against the backdrop of tough market conditions, we have transformed our recorded music business. Since their arrival in 2001, Alain Levy and David Munns have taken vital steps to improve our competitive position and the financial performance of the business. They have delivered over £100 million of fixed cost savings so far and have also managed a dramatic turnaround in the performance of our US operations. By strengthening our management capability and investing in artist development worldwide, they have established a momentum in the business which we are determined to maintain, said EMI chairman Eric Nicole. EMI won. For now EMI is the third largest music company, and it seems that they will manage to avoid the mergers and buyouts that have plagued their competitors, by outsourcing their manufacturing in Europe and the United States and restructuring their artist list and labels. Which makes one wonder if the other major labels could have survived without mergers as well. With all of the combining of companies, it may seem like everyone is losing out in this new music industry. However, there are a multitude of advantages in the current consolidation of the major recording labels. Most noticeable is the growth of smaller independent music labels. We're ushering in a period that will be the blooming of 1,000 independents, says Steve Gottlieb, CEO of TVT Records. Label 1, as the larger companies become fewer and fewer, it is these smaller, more personable independent labels that will acquire artists that can be nurtured and grown into major acts. Bigger and fewer music companies just won't be as friendly to artist development, says Cliff Chenfeld, co-founder of Razor and Tie Records. I see more opportunities for us. Label 1, also, mergers have caused major labels to drop many high-profile artists. These artists are now likely to either start their own recording label or sign with a smaller label. Likewise, major record executives are being laid off due to the combining of offices, as well as other major label jobs being cut. Label 1. Former major label employees can now either start up their own labels or bring their big business experience to the smaller labels to improve their efficiency and operations. Even EMI, which hasn't merged with anyone else, has been forced to cut costs by cutting jobs and artists, and thereby spreading the experience of these employees around to other labels. Prior to all the label mergers, independent labels held 28% of the market, and while that figure has dropped to 25%, the independents are confident that that figure will continue to increase as these mergers begin to have their full effect on the industry. Label 1, and even the major labels are saying that these mergers are advantageous at least for a certain period of time, because without them their companies would collapse. Mergers are keeping the music industry thriving instead of surviving for now, so they should be viewed as advantageous. The Big Four: Universal, Vivendi, Sony BMG Music Entertainment, Time Warner, and EMI, are all that is left of major record companies. The recent trend of merging with other companies in an attempt to cut costs and consolidate revenue streams during this turbulent time of the music business. The disadvantages to this current trend are that thousands of people have lost their jobs due to doubling up of positions after a merger has taken place. All of the major labels have had to cut significant acts from their roster in attempts to rebound from plaguing album sales that have been declined by 20% in the last 3 years. Labels blame the decline in CD sales on the popularity of illegal downloading through the use of online file sharing. However, consumers blame lousy music selection and promotional hype as opposed to musical content. This drop in album sales forces executives to be more consumed with budgets and having their artists produce hit songs that sell. This stifles artists' creativity because they also have to be concerned with generating hit songs, which ultimately contributes to the lousy musical offerings of major record labels in the recent years. Also, these mergers are possibly only a temporary solution for record labels to postpone the real problems imposing the recording industry of today. In Shannon's opinion, the latest mergers of record companies will be beneficial to the changing and formation of the new music industry. The cutbacks and layoffs of the major labels will send popular artists to more independent labels, which will make more independent labels successful and profitable. As these independent labels become more profitable, more independence will be created and there will be more chances for artist development to create lasting musical artists. Also, as executives are laid off, they will either form new labels and ruin them based on their major label experience or join smaller independent and show them how to run like a major label. Spreading around artists and experienced executives within the industry will diversify the strength of music business. While major labels think that combining their companies will save them from the losses brought on by the internet downloading, Shannon believes that their mergers will only create a temporary solution to their difficulties. Shannon thinks that the major labels will continue to struggle and will be forced to adopt practices similar to independent labels in order to develop a successful roster of artists. The mergers just take two struggling record companies and turn them into one. It doesn't change or solve any of the problems of either of the companies. Only by truly embracing the latest technology and finding a way to profit from it will the major labels continue to dominate. Hopefully, the independent labels will come to hold more power within the industry and artists will have more freedom of creativity and development. Record label mergers will be a positive change in the music industry by shifting the power to smaller, more personal, independent labels. As the major labels merge into larger and larger entities of each other, one has to question, are they getting too big? In Matt's opinion, the major labels are already lethargic and apathetic when it comes to change. These huge corporations are usually the slowest to adapt to the advances of technology. Matt feels that the recent trend of cutting costs through consolidation could be only a temporary solution. The major record companies need to become more money conscious and budget the money spent on certain projects. Over the last couple of years, numerous independent labels have had success getting their artists to appear on the charts at a fraction of what the major labels are spending to ensure that their artists stay on the charts. Considering that almost 90% of the albums put out by the major labels fail to be profitable, and they rely on their top 10% of their artists to be profitable. Maybe it's time for record companies to start making performance-based deals with artists as opposed to making deals on the projected sales. Overall, Matt thinks we're going to see revolution in the recording industry in the next decade. The major record companies need to spend more time on strategic planning and be more adapted to changes in technology. Matt feels that recording industry needs to make downloading music legally off the internet cheaper temporarily to get the general public used to playing for music that they download. As of right now, a majority of the public figures why pay 99 cents a song for what I can get for free elsewhere. Possibly a monthly membership fee for unlimited downloads. The ability to recuperate substantial income from musical downloads needs to be the focus of the record music industry. Other companies have come up with ways to generate revenue and simultaneously combat the advances of technology. For example, Blockbuster was losing tons of money because of the technology of DVD burners. Blockbuster decided to come up with a cheap monthly membership for unlimited rentals with no late fees. This allowed Blockbuster to get an upfront fee. Matt ultimately feels that if the major record labels don't find a way to profit from the advances in technology, that they will continue to have serious financial problems. In conclusion, the Big Four, Universal Vivendi, Sony BMG Music Entertainment, Time Warner, and EMI, are all that is left of major record companies. These mergers allow for the major record companies to cut costs, also allowing these merged companies to integrate each other's business strategies and networking capabilities. However, these newly merged companies end up firing a lot of top-level executives and artists to create a larger budget. These executives and artists will most likely end up starting their own companies or signing with independent labels. This could bring a shift in the share of the global market in the recorded music business, as independent labels bring these knowledgeable executives into their companies, along with other well-known artists. These mergers could prove to be only a temporary solution to the problems that are facing the music industry. Every industry must change as the technology surrounding that industry changes. So far, merging has been the answer for the major recording companies. However, this most likely doesn't address the problems that are currently facing the music industry. The success of these mergers will rely on their abilities to adapt to the technological advances.